This is my film analysis final by AJ Mercurio. Through this presentation, I'll be criticizing and analyzing a scene from the movie Queen and Slim that depicts what I believe the movie to be about. I believe this movie is about the racial injustice in the world around us, not only because this movie came out before the massive Black Lives Matter movement, but it shows that this is still an ongoing problem in the world we live in. In the book, Looking at Movies on page 129, it says, Aristotle said a good story should have three sequential parts, a beginning, a middle, and an end, which the movie Queen and Slim has. In the beginning of the movie, which starts off in a normal world, which is the time before the world as they know it changes forever. But that just is leading up to where the fight with Slim and the cop happens and the world around them falls apart. The beginning really shows how, for a black man and a woman, a simple traffic stop can turn into a life changing moment forever. Now, to talk about the middle of the movie, where we see so much happening from kidnapping another cop to going to see Queen's uncle looking for a way out or just some guidance of any kind. But mainly, it gives us the climax, where Queen and Slim are out on the run. They were so close to being free, but they were gunned down. This supports what the thesis is because in this part of the movie, it shows how, with the thought of being free, even though that's how we all should feel at all times, it's not for them. But for them, being so close to freedom, it was all taken away because of the color of their skin. By making people scared of or makes someone with a gun feel more powerful and thinks they have the ability to do whatever they want just based off the color of their skin and that they have a gun in their right pocket. This leads me to the end of the movie, where we are showed the unpleasant things such as the man that turned them in with all of his bounty money. But it also shows us all the lives that have been lost to racial injustice from police weren't for nothing. Just like the iconic picture of Queen and Slim, it is more proof of how this is happening in front of our eyes and something must change to stop racial injustice from keep happening around the world. Now onto how the movie used cut elements to portray the audience what racial injustice looks like and feels like. By the director using certain cuts to emphasize the message of the movie. For example, in the scene that I analyzed, there were a, there were a bunch of cuts which the book states as an editor selecting an in point and an out point of a shot. In the in point, it's at 10:15 during the movie, and the out point is at 10:24. This shot is where the cop pulls the gun out on Slim, and we see what is going on from Queen's point of view in the passenger seat of the car. In this shot, the pace plays a huge role in the cuts. Pace is the time duration between cuts, which changes the mood. In the shot, we are rapidly changing point of views. Then we get a good look to what Queen sees from the back seat or from the front seat. This gives the audience a feeling of chaos and not knowing what will happen next. This enhances the message because for many Black people, chaos is what they feel in such a simple situation as getting pulled over for a simple traffic misconduct. They don't know what the cop will do next, all based off of the color of their skin. The next option that the movie uses to support the overall message is audio. Maybe the absence of audio. The scene I spent a lot of my time on uses silence in such a strategic way that really punctuates the overall message. At 11:25 and 11:42, or 11:25 through 11:42, this is right after Slim shoots the cop. It's complete silence, which puts emphasis on what's happening visually, gives the audience feeling of how after all the chaos A life has been lost, and now Slim has nothing to say or do. He just lays there in shock. The use of silence really emphasizes the meaning of this movie by showing the audience the dramatic thought process on something like this happening to you. As a and black man or woman, they go to the police. They aren't going to be believed because of the color of their skin, or if they go on the run, they're automatically guilty and will be killed on sight because they will be labeled armed and dangerous just based on the color of their skin without even knowing what really happened at the traffic stop. Finally, the last topic that I think really enhances the meaning of this movie is the actor. I think just who the actor is for Slim makes the message come to the surface before you even watch the movie. The actor who plays Slim is Daniel Kaluuya. I always mispronounce his name. I'm not sure if I got it that time. He has starred in in other major films and shows, but common factor is race is always a huge factor in those films. Daniel is known to be a equal rights activist, and he has said in an interview he's tired of being seen differently based off the color of his skin. Since he is known to be a man that is making strides for racial equality across the world, it brings the meaning of this movie to the surface of racial equality and social injustice. But for a lot of countries, racial equality is not relevant to police officers while they have that badge on, which leaves unfortunate accidents as we've seen in the movie Queen and Slim. After all the things that I have brought up and mentioned throughout this speech are on this page. They all show how each category and how it's its own way to support the racial injustice is still happening around in the world is still happening in the world around us and needs to change immediately. Thank you for listening.